Want to hear a joke?
Yeah, I do. You ever been on a road trip?
We work for an audio company.
Yeah. Have you ever been on a road trip and
Yes.
Things aren't going super well?
Yes.
But then things keep happening that keep not going well.
Yeah.
Like one time I was on a road trip in high school and I was wearing chacos and I was with like 20 people and we all had to partner up.
As you do.
And this is probably an inappropriate story.
Should we pause?
Yeah.
Should we just start over again?
I started the story and then I realized I was on the internet.
We should start. We should start.
Yeah.
Chacos, huh? Okay.
But here's the deal.
Road trip.
Nonetheless, today, nothing in the last 19 minutes changes what we're doing today because we're still releasing the Walrus Audio Canvas reamp.
Reamp box.
Yeah. And listen, if I could go reamp the last 19 minutes, sure as hell I would. You know what I mean? So, but I can't. But if I would have had the reamp, I could have done that.
Yeah.
And so today we're going to walk through the reamp.
You do have the reamp, though. So
I do, yeah.
No excuses.
But I do now because it's now released.
Hey, welcome to New SKU. I'm Jason from Walrus Audio. This is
Colt.
This is Colt.
From Edmond.
From the suburbs. And
From the burbs.
we're here to talk about the Canvas reamp.
So a year ago, we released the Canvas line isolator and DI. That's one product in two products in one box.
With a switch.
Or one product in one box, if you look at it the right way.
Keep going.
And so kind of coming into that same vein, in that same product family, we're releasing the reamp also. And so
We're gonna talk about it.
Yeah, we are.
We're gonna do some giveaways. Okay, so stay around. Get ready for some trivia questions.
Yeah. I would like to just hit time out real quick so I can ask the producers if we're going to watch Taylor do his thing in the studio one more time.
Hold on. Let me text him.
Cool.
Yeah.
Why don't you text him and see if he's actually using the reamp? I think he's using it today.
Yeah, let's see what he's doing.
Let's see if he's doing it. Man, that is nice. You know, when it starts right there with the 1 with the 7th in it.
That's
Then it goes to the 4. It's like, it's very meditative, but it's very vibey.
It is. That's our friend Taylor Johnson and the Studes right down the street.
Yeah.
Putting it through the paces, through its paces. So you saw him playing a lot of audio out of his computer through pedals and then recording that back in, and that's what you were hearing him build that song with. So
I felt like I was in Forever 21 rummaging through the sales rack.
The sale bin.
A sale bin. I don't shop at Forever 21 though.
I've seen you there.
I have. Well, because my wife likes it.
You can say that, I guess.
I also have daughters.
She wasn't there.
Dang it. Listen, you go to the mall to get a euro, and then
you walk out with piercings.
You stop at Forever 21. You come out with piercings.
Yeah.
Or a tattoo. I
mall.
accidentally saw Transformers at lunch.
Why don't you tell us about what, in just 90 seconds, what the reamp does?
Well, it doesn't buy tickets to Transformers. But what it does...
I'll tell him.
Shoot, go for it.
Go ahead.
This is
Go
my
ahead.
script. This is my script.
Okay, so basically, the Canvas reamp is a tool that allows and facilitates, helps you take computer audio out of your interface, out of your recording interface, run that through effects pedals, and then you can record that back in and capture the treated audio, right? So when you come out of interface,
That's awesome.
That signal is a low impedance signal. It's a line level signal, so it's louder. It's much louder than pedals are used to seeing. And so when we come out of the reamp, we wash that audio through. It converts the impedance to a high impedance signal, instrument level signal. So what the pedals are used to seeing. So you can take any kind of audio, run it out of the computer, through the reamp, through pedals, and then back in through a direct box or through a microphone, for example, on an amplifier, and be able to capture that treated audio. So a really great use for this would be you have an artist come in, you set them up, you record through their entire setup, and maybe you take a split of their audio and you record the dry guitar or dry synth or whatever that might be, capture that. And then later on, when you as a producer engineer have more time, you can go back, play that audio through whatever sort of complement of outboard effects with pedals, for example, that you want to use and get real creative and come up with interesting sounds, processing that dry audio and then capturing it again.
And listen, if you're a producer and you feel like you don't have enough time, watch out for Labor Day. We are having a time sale, and you can buy more time there. Yeah. We're also having a money sale.
What is a money sale?
Dude, I've been trying to think of that for a long time. I think it'd be so crazy.
Well, tell us.
So, sidebar, there is a family that
sidebar to the sidebar.
They found 1,000,000 pennies. It was in one of my articles from my email this morning. They found 1,000,000 pennies in one of their deceased relatives' house, and they're selling the 1,000,000 pennies, which is worth $10,000, but they're selling it for $20,000.
Can you put those through the reamp?
I don't know, but they think there's some rare mints in there, which is why they're doing it.
That's fun.
Yeah, so you can go look that up. It's probably on BuzzFeed.
Pennies.
Okay, so what I'd like to do is I would just like to see it in action. I'd like to see I'd like to see us here doing that live.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to offer up like a Q&A. So I'd like to do that as soon as we hear from some of our artists that have been using this product in the studio. I want to know what they think about it.
Yeah, let's hear from them.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Hello Walrus Audio family, I'm at the top of a mountain, it's Andy the Guitar Geek here on holiday, but before I was on holiday I was using the Canvas reamp for some pedal shootouts.
Hi, I'm Mark Parfit, I'm a recording and mix engineer, and I'm here today to talk about Walrus Audio's Canvas reamp.
Hey everybody, my name is Michael Trepanier, I'm a recording engineer producer at Cardinal Song Studios here in Oklahoma City.
I love reamping for pedal shootouts because it means I can record a clean DI into the DAW and then route that through the pedals that I'm shooting out. Makes it super simple, and this one being passive means it doesn't have to have its own power supply, so I don't have to get cables absolutely everywhere.
This thing has been such a phenomenal addition to my pedal board because majority of my board's built around reamping. I mix and I use my board as a out-the-box viberizer more than I do as a recording on the way traditional effect.
It has a high-pass filter which allows you to cut some of the low end going into the guitar pedals. Pretty awesome. You don't see that all the time either. It's got a volume knob here which allows you to control the gain staging into the pedal or to the amp, whichever thing you're going into. Super great for that. It's a very nice feeling pot too, so that always goes a long way with me. It feels really great.
I'll also be using it in my album that I'll be recording very, very soon because I'm not very good at making decisions when creating music. So get a basic sound and then record it and then reamp it later.
Reamping is integral for my process, and the fact that this is in such a simple and effective package that fits right in line at the beginning of my chain so easily and imparts no tone changes, doesn't need a power supply. It kind of answered everything that I needed from a reamper.
It's a wonderful little reamper. I've had a lot of reamps in my life. just throughout my career, and this one stands right up there with them. It's a fantastic little device.
If you want more information from me, of course, check out my video review, which I know the Walrus Audio guys are going to send you the link for.
Walrus Audio, killing it as usual.
I hope you really get out there and start reamping things. There's a whole new world of sonic textures out there if you just kind of open the door to some things that are less common to you. So please enjoy it. I've been enjoying it.
Thanks for watching. Bye.
And we are back. It's time to play. It's time to hear some stuff. Colt, you're not Colt.
I'm not Colt.
This is Eric. Eric is a one of our master engineers, designers. He kind of ran point on developing the Canvas reamp. We've also got Alex over here. He is master customer service expert / creative genius. He's got the reamp set up with an interface with some pedals, and we're going to get to hear some audio played through those and kind of manipulate that and give you some examples of how you might use the Canvas reamp. So first, why don't we do a giveaway first?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, why don't you give us a question, and then again put the answer in the comments, and the first correct answer that we see in the comments is going to win the Canvas reamp. All you have to do is email help@walrusaudio.com. If you're the winner, we'll check. Give them a question.
So our first question is, what is a group of cats called?
A group of cats?
A group of cats.
Man, that's just a bummer. Like, thinking about a group of cats. Cats in general. I'm not a cat guy.
I have 2 cats.
I know Eric's a cat guy.
I love cats.
Alex, are you a cat guy? Yeah, I have a cat. Oh, shoot. Okay. Cats are great. I love them a lot. So, especially groups of them. Do we have an answer yet? Yeah? Is it correct? Okay, what's the answer? Give him the answer, Eric.
The answer is a clouder. CLOWDR.
What in the world? Oh.
Clouder of cats.
Oh, shoot. A clouder of cats. Okay, email help@walrusaudio.com, and we will get you hooked up with a free Canvas reamp. So, let's jump in and listen to this thing. So we've got a few clips queued up. Let's start with like the guitar, maybe the guitar from Taylor's video, from just that intro video.
First, who got the question right?
Oh, it was Jake Vital. I might be pronouncing that wrong.
Oh.
Way to go, Jake. Must be a cat guy. Yeah, so if we start with just, again, so the reamp, we're coming out of the interface with a balanced signal line level, and then we're washing that through the reamp. We come out of that with a 1/4-inch cable, just like you would a guitar. And that is a high impedance signal, and it's down at instrument level, so it'll play nice with all the pedals. So first, let's just listen to the dry guitar with no pedals in the chain whatsoever.
So, completely dry.
Okay, sure. Now let's turn on the ACS1. So now we're gonna hear that guitar going through an amp. What is this? The Fender model, maybe?
Yeah.
Through a Fender IR. So now it sounds like a mic'd up amp, right? And then we could turn on something like the M1. So you could be recording this back into your computer and capturing this treated audio to use in a mix. Yeah. What's another example? You could do the same thing with, you could do it with anything, right? So we have some keys tracks. You could do it with vocals. Let's listen to keys.
So that's just the dry keys right now.
Yeah. ACS1's back off, so we're just listening to a straight key signal here. We put that, turn the Fable on, and we start to bring the mix up. You get some of that flavor from the Fable, which is a granular delay. And you can manipulate all this stuff after the fact in real time and be recording this back in to use later. Something else you could do is take the Fable, you could turn the mix all the way up and record that. So it's full wet, and then you could blend that in after the fact with that dry key signal. Yeah, that's awesome. It sounds so great, and you just turned on one pedal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Another example is, what's next?
We have some drums as well.
Yeah.
Again, you can use any pre-recorded audio. Right now, Alex is running out of Ableton Live, which is a great loop-based DAW, but it works with any DAW, of course.
Oh, yeah. What are we turning on? Oh, the melee. Yeah.
Melee.
So we're just going to destroy these drums real quick. Put some verb in there. Yeah, Alex, there you go. Let that fade out. So again, you could record that like full wet, for example, and then blend that back in parallel with those dry drums if that gives you more control that you might want as an engineer. Yeah, that's just a couple of examples. We'll get into some more in a second. Let's go ahead and do our second giveaway. You want to pick a question? I think you already picked a question.
I've got another
Okay,
question.
let's throw it at him.
Okay.
Hit him with it.
So name one of the two mammals that are known to lay eggs. One of the two mammals that are known to lay eggs. It's like science class all over again.
What, Philip got it right? Yeah. Philip can't win. Do we have answers yet? Do we have a right answer yet? We do?
Ooh.
All right. Okay, give him the answer.
Who's our winner? Michael Roy.
Michael Roy knew the answer.
Congratulations.
What was his answer? One of the two.
The two are platypus and spiny anteater.
I was going to say spiny anteater.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah. I always have that in my back pocket just ready to go. So, awesome. Congratulations, Michael. You get a free Canvas reamp. Email help@walrusaudio.com, and we will get you set up with the Canvas reamp. Let's listen to some more audio, but first let's maybe take a couple questions. What do we have?
So one of the questions we've got here is, does this work as a DI box?
Good question. It's got a lot of the same connections you would see on a DI box, but no. So it's set up very specifically to go one direction with what it's doing with impedance and what it's doing with level of the signal. So if you're needing a DI solution, the best thing to do would be just grab a Canvas DI. Mm-hmm. So that'll take care of that. This is, again, for getting audio out of the computer into pedals and conditioning the signal to be kind of what pedals are expecting to see, to kind of get the most out of your audio out of the computer. So what's another one?
I think another good one would be to talk about how to use this in a stereo setup.
Yeah.
As the reamp is mono itself, there are several different ways you can use it stereo. So with the setup Alex is using, where he's running the looper out of Ableton into pedals, his reamp is coming out right after the interface output and then going into the pedals. So in that case, you get to use a stereo output from the ACS1 at the end of the signal chain. So that's more of a signal chain dependent stereo setup. When you're using amps, for example, we have these two amps mic'd up behind us. If you run both of those at the same time in a stereo setup, you would need two of the Canvas reamp boxes because they only have one in and output on per box.
Yeah, another thing you could do, though, is take the Canvas reamp, come out mono, run it through some pedals, maybe mono pedals at the beginning of your chain, and then at the end, if you come out of, like, a stereo reverb, you could go into both amplifiers and then mic both of those up and record that back in stereo and get the full stereo field of, like, that reverb pedal, for example, and be able to use it that way in stereo. So, yeah. Anything else? How about one more, and then we can listen to some stuff?
Yeah, we've got another one. What if my interface only has stereo RCA out? Would RCA to quarter-inch degrade audio, and would that still work?
Yeah, so you really want to come out of the interface with a balanced signal. So RCA is going to be just a single-ended signal. So it's best if you have an interface that has balanced outputs, which most of them do. Whether that's quarter-inch or XLR, you can run either one of those into the canvas. So yeah, without having to have an adapter or anything like that. So cool. Yeah, let's do some more examples here. What do we have?
Well, why don't we take a listen to these amps we've got behind us? We have a Benson set up pretty hot and crunchy, and we've got a Fender Deluxe Reverb set up on a clean. So
hot and crunchy.
Right now we're running through the Benson, so we'll get that running on our side.
Let's listen to it again without the melee on. We'll just hear.
Okay, and as you saw, Jason was making some mic adjustments. That's, again, the great part of reamping is that you can spend the time in the studio working on your mic placement and not wasting your tracking time doing that.
So I had that in my ears, and I can sit there and move the mic around all over, back it up for whatever, and really dial in the mic placement when you have the time to do it. Maybe you don't have the time to do it when an artist is there tracking or recording, but after the fact, you can go back and really dial that in and have it sound exactly like you want it to. What if we wanted to hear it through a different amp? We could just real quickly switch to maybe say like a Deluxe Reverb and hear that clean.
We'll just have to move the mic over.
And again, you can take your time, dial in the mic placement when you're listening to it, but we're just going to throw it right here, kind of in the center of the cone. Yeah, again, take the time to adjust settings on the amp, adjust mic placement. I brought in a little reverb from the amp as well. And that's just what's so great. You have the flexibility and the time to do that. You capture the dry audio from a guitar, for example, and then you get to play that back as many times as you want, however long you want, and really dial in that sound that you then get to record back in to your computer. So, yeah.
We got a couple more questions.
Yeah, go for it.
Take a look at these. So what inspired us to make the reamp?
Yeah, I think the Canvas line being, we started with direct boxes and been really excited about those. And it just seemed like the next logical step to take that technology and then kind of like manipulate it and come up with a recipe for a reamp box. And so that's just kind of where it came from. Yeah, natural progression of the Canvas product family.
Yeah, I was really excited about this because I do a lot of reamping since I live in an apartment. Can't really, make too much noise or it's only at certain times, so it's helpful.
Yeah. What else?
We've also got, can it be paired with Canvas stereo?
Sure, yeah. So, I mean, again, you're coming out of the interface through the reamp. You run it through some pedals or through whatever you want to process that audio. And then say at the end of your chain, for example, if you're going out of like a stereo pedal like the ACS1, you could run that left and right into the Canvas stereo and then record that back in to your interface, both channels from the Canvas stereo. So that's kind of how you would use that full product family end to end.
And then another good question is, can you use this post amp as an attenuator? And I think this is a great clarification point because it has the term amp in it.
Yeah,
it can get
has a volume knob on it, right? Yeah.
You would not want to know. The output from an amplifier is really loud. It's a really high signal. This is meant for feeding the input to the amp, which is a low
the
signal.
front of your chain. Yeah. That's a good question. What else?
Let's see. Well, why don't we take some more sounds and then we'll come back to questions.
Cool.
We can try some effects through the deluxe reverb.
Here.
Awesome. So that's just
Sweet.
another example of running that guitar audio. We came out of the interface, we run it through some pedals. That was the Fable again, and then we're going into a Fender Deluxe Reverb. I noticed that there was some like extra low end there. A quick way to just kind of cut that out is using the high pass filter that's built in to the Canvas reamp. That's just going to take off kind of that very bottom end that may be too muddy or just a little too boomy. You can just reach over there and grab that and knock out some of that low end. What else is on the side here, Eric? You want to take us through the other buttons?
Yeah, so first up, we've got a ground lift, which just lifts the ground pin off of the balanced input. So if you're working in the studio and you're just getting a bunch of buzz going into your amp, you can't find where it is, try hitting that button and, should help you out there. Then we've got a mute control, so that's really helpful when, say you've got a track playing from your control room, you're out in the live room working on mics. You need a break, your ears are fried, you're, just tired of hearing this loop over and over. Just hit the mute button and you'll stop hearing it. You can still work on your stuff in the live room without having to run back to the control room to stop.
Yep, super convenient.
Yeah, and then we've also got a phase control, so that's going to flip the phase by 180 degrees, so give you complete opposite polarity. That's useful for a number of reasons. We have a really in-depth guide to this in our manual, but certain types of when you're using two amps in the same room, you can get like common room modes where there's acoustic rejections and cancellations and stuff that can help with clearing up. And then we've got that high pass filter that we were just talking about, which is just a gentle cutoff at the bottom.
Yeah. What about the other side? Volume knob?
Yes, then we've got a volume knob, and again, this is a passive product, so the volume knob is just attenuating. So all the way to the right is your max volume, which is the input signal that you're applying to the pedal. And then as you go down, it'll just attenuate it down to mute. So that helps you, if your signal's too hot and you're clipping a pedal, you can just bring it down.
Yeah. So again, if you're out in the tracking room and you have a loop playing or you have audio playing, you don't want to run back there and have to trim the level around. You can just reach down to the volume knob and just bring that back a little bit or bring it up just a little bit. Again, all the way up is completely unaffected. So that would be the level that you're sending, and then you can bring that down just a little bit if you need to help clean things up through pedals or with your amp, for example. So yeah, lots of features built into the reamp to kind of make this process easy and efficient.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? You want to hear some more stuff?
We can, let's play that for just because we'll play that bass clip from the intro video.
Oh, cool.
Sounds good.
Through the Deluxe Reverb, and maybe we can hear the melee on that.
Yeah. So something like that. Sweet.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another example of how you can use this again to process any kind of audio track. Dry tracks work well, but they don't have to be, right? You could actually do this entire process with a track that you've already recorded through pedals and an amp, and you could do other stuff to it, with additional outboard effects. So that's it. That's the Canvas reamp. Really hope you enjoy it and find it useful. It's a really powerful product to have in your arsenal, in your toolbox. If you're doing any kind of recording, when it comes to guitar specifically. But again, you can use it for keys, you can use it for vocals, you can process really any kind of audio you want that's coming out of the computer through an effects chain and then record that back in. So this is available today at all Walrus Audio dealers. It's $149. So we encourage you just to go out there and find it and pick it up and use it. And we'd love to see what you're doing with it. So tag us on socials. And thanks so much. Appreciate you coming.